This is help video for Math Quiz 2.06, adding fractions and mixed numbers. When you're adding numbers, mixed numbers and fractions, remember you have to have the same denominator. So in question number 1, we see that the only mixed number that doesn't have a denominator of 12 is 2 3/4. To change that 2 3/4 to have a denominator of 4, we have to find our copycat fraction to multiply both the numerator and the denominator by to get 12. So in this case it is 3. 3 times 3 is 9, 4 times 3 is 12. So now we have our copycat fraction, or we have our equivalent fraction of 9/12. Now we can add all of our fractions together. 7/12 plus 9/12 plus 5/12 is 21/12. Then we add our whole numbers together, 4, 2, and 7, and we get 13. So when we add those together, we get 13 and 21/12. Well, I know that those 21/12 is another mixed number. So over here I did my scratch work. 21 divided by 12, I got 1 and 9/12. So now I have to add this one whole number to my answer of 13, and I get 14 and 9/12. Now I know that 9/12 can be reduced by taking a 3 out of each, the numerator and the denominator, and our final answer is 14 3/4. Remember, your answer needs to be in simplest form. Question number 2 asks us the same thing. You have to add these two, the fraction and the mixed number together. Well, I see that the 4/5 and the 1/10 are not the same denominator, so you cannot add them together. I want to change my 4/5 to have a denominator of 10. So down here, I figured the copycat fraction as 2 over 2, and I multiply the top and the bottom by 2 and get 8/10. Now I can add my two fractions together and bring my whole number over for the answer. Make sure that your answer is in simplest form. Question number 3 is a little bit tougher. It asks you to add these 4 mixed numbers. We need to find a common denominator between 12 and 17. The easiest way to do that is to just multiply them together. So when I multiply them together, 12 times 17, I get a 204. That is going to be our denominator. All right, they do not have common factors, and the least common multiple is clear up in the thousands. So if you just multiply them together, you will get a common denominator that will work. Now, if the denominator is 12, you're going to multiply that fraction by 17 to get your denominator to be 204. So when I just multiply across, this is what I get for my first equivalent fraction of 9/12. If I take 13/17, I have to multiply that by 12. My copycat fraction is 12 because I can multiply 17 times 12 and get 204. So remember, if your denominator is 12, you're going to multiply it by 17. If your denominator is 17, you're going to multiply it by 12. Then you're going to add all those fractions together, and you're going to add all of your whole numbers together. Once you do that, you will have your answer. Remember though, if you add your fractions together and the numerator is greater than the denominator, you have to add those whole numbers onto your answer from your whole numbers. Question number 4 is a word problem. It says Drew adds 1/2 cup of wheat flour and 2 3 cups of white flour to his batter. How many cups of flour does Drew add? We have to have common denominators for our fractions before we can add them. I'm going to take the 1/2 and change that so it's a denominator of 4. My copycat fraction then will be 2/2. I make my copycat fraction, then I add them together, and I get 2 5/4. But remember, 5/4 is an improper fraction. You're going to have to change this to a mixed number and add that whole number back into the 2, and your fraction left over will be your answer along with your new whole number. Question number 5 asks you what the perimeter of the figure is. Now remember, the perimeter of a figure is the distance all the way around. If you were to walk all the way around this figure. So you have to add all of the whole numbers and all of the fractions. But again, the fractions have the same denominator. So I want to change my 1/3 to some sixths, some kind of sixth. What do I have to multiply 3 by to get 6? That will be my copycat fraction. Then I can add all my sixths together. Remember, if your numerator is bigger than your denominator, you're going to have a mixed number, and you're going to have to add that to your answer here. That is your help video for quiz 2.06.